Welcome back to us on this podcast. I'm not your host. Huss is your host today, but I'm Bianca.
I'm Naj.
And I'm Huss.
Cool. So we have a few burning questions for Huss today. We are diving into the world of design, and we have, I think, 9 or 10 burning questions that we get asked. And
So continuing on the theme with the last one that you done, which was really good. We thought we'd do a little bit of these, and Huss is in the hot chair this time. Burning questions from clients, from other colleagues. So we're going to fire them away at you, mate, and do your best.
Are you ready?
Go ahead.
All right, nice.
He doesn't seem nervous.
Nah.
I was so scared.
He's cool.
I am not good in talking in front of the but let's see how we go.
He's got this.
All good. All right. So first one, get this a lot. Brand guidelines or style guidelines. How important are branding or styling guidelines?
They are very important for a brand. It basically shapes a brand as to who they are. It's how the the brand communicates with the outside world, ensuring that there's consistency with brands. Not only shapes who you are as a brand, but it also builds that trust. That recognition with people. So it's quite important to have brand guidelines.
Yeah.
So you think like most companies, big or small, should have some sort of guidelines?
Of course, because the way is that you see the brand and it becomes recognizable the more you see it across different channels.
Yeah,
so you'll start to, exactly. And that builds the trust as I was just saying.
Absolutely.
So that's important from a design point, because getting those style guidelines and following those guidelines helps you as the designer to follow something from the beginning as well. Like if you just get given a brief and there's no brand guidelines or style guidelines, then you've got nothing to go off. You
Other than a logo or a color,
exactly. Yeah. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, cool. Leading up from that question, how do you overcome clients who are really rigid and sort of stuck within those guidelines and sort of refuse to even, budge remotely, a little bit sort of outside what they have documented?
And we get them a lot too.
Yeah.
We do. First things first is that you need to stick to the branding guidelines.
Yeah.
But there are branding guidelines or style guidelines that have been built pretty poorly by other designers, other agencies, and they become very hard to follow for marketing agencies, especially when you're trying to run campaigns and those sorts of things. So you need to really try and do minimal things to introduce it to the branding guidelines, which we have in the past, such as slight little colors or elements to the brand.
I remember that one client who only had one color and a different shade of it, and you couldn't have any conversion colors on their landing pages. And I think
we introduced a new color, an orange, and they only literally had a blue and white, which was really hard to work with.
Oh, that orange would have really helped pop.
It did. It did. It helped the call to actions, the messaging pop out a lot better.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, cool. That's good. So I get this asked quite a little bit actually when I'm sort of, pitching for work and sort of doing stuff. Obviously, we're a marketing agency, and a question that comes up a lot is, why do we have a creative director in a marketing agency?
Why are you here?
Yeah. So first things first is that you get to overlook all the branding guidelines and style guidelines that come through. But not only that, when you work with other designers, whether you're in that marketing agency compared to your clients who have in-house marketing agencies, for example, there's a lot of clashes. As designers, subjective, everyone has their views on things. Ensuring that the requirements of a specific campaign are met. You have someone like me who overlooks it on both sides, ensuring that we've met the guidelines, we've met the campaigns, the strategies, and getting things over the line to ensure that they convert, etc.
Also quality control as well. I feel like you're overlooking the I guess the designs of everyone who's doing the graphics or whoever's doing something for the company. So I feel like that consistency is really, really key. Rather than having multiple people having their own opinions, it's just you're there to just be like, no guys, we need to follow this. This is what we're doing.
I think also it's a point of difference for our business specifically. So many times in the past, and we have worked with other design agencies, and that's all well and good. But so many times in the past, there's been breakdown in communications, and I've seen it with friends of mine who own agencies as well, where there's an external design agency who doesn't necessarily understand marketing. So what comes back is a poor design in terms of being able that's going to convert, and then that's when the blame game sort of starts. The results aren't great, or the marketing agency is going to blame the designer because the design wasn't up to standard. The design agency is going to blame the marketing team. So I think like for us, it's been a good point of difference having that sort of in-house, which means that we can control our sort of fate and our results. So I think that's like from my point of view, that's been a massive thing.
Definitely. Yeah, this definitely happens with, like, I know from my point of view in the social media world with content creation is that, we have a social media strategy and then, a client will hire an external creative agency or a film agent or something like that to do content creation. And then, but it doesn't tie with our strategy. And then we're like, oh, what was the point of that content? And they go, oh, well, we just wanted to do it. I'm like, well, it doesn't really make sense. So then again, that goes with the whole blame game and the whole, like, what was the point of having us and then having them? And so, it's definitely good that we have that multi-channel service within us.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's a great point of difference.
Yeah.
Next one, this actually comes up a lot, especially in the PPC or the paid performance marketing world, are landing pages. So whenever we sort of are doing sort of campaigns, mainly for service-based businesses, we would always recommend to have a look at landing pages and match keywords to different landing pages and things like that. And we get that asked a lot. Look, I have a website. Why do I need a landing page?
Yeah, well, that comes down to the website first, is that people, and especially a lot of larger businesses, they go to these amazing creative agencies who purely just design and build this awesome website based on those sorts of ideas that come with their strategies on their end, and they don't think about marketing, right?
Right.
And when it comes to marketing, you're running those campaigns specifically on a specific service or a product, right? And what happens with what you want to do with landing pages is you want to tailor the content, the messaging, the trust builders, all based on that specific product or service.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are some of the some advantages that come from sort of using landing pages?
Well, first things first is you get to convert better. Yeah. So you're specifically tailoring the content to that specific niche of the service or the product, etc.
Yeah.
You get to also do A/B testing when you use this specific softwares, or even if you build it on the website. So you get to create it in different sort of scenarios, layouts, etc.
Yeah, that's cool. Any platforms you can sort of give out there for people to sort of have a look in that are pretty good?
Yeah, we strongly use HubSpot and Unbounce here on our end. We work with them quite well and strongly agree with them.
Biggest fans. I know they're good for competitions as well.
Exactly. It just allows you to quickly pull over a landing page, get things running next week instead of having to wait for like a dev team to build out a page over many weeks. Sure.
That's another thing that we've actually used landing pages is like, being like hosting like competition sort of landing pages coming from social media.
Yeah, because there's no way to track really anything on social media. So getting people to go to this landing page allows you that extra, step to track all that information, to gain all that information, to gain emails, all that stuff.
Yeah, you end up getting better engagement.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Cool.
And more value as well, because a lot of
100%.
a lot of social media competitions are just like and follow and but with the landing page you have that extra step, then you have all that information to remarket and
100%.
do
You can
all
acquire
of that
all that
stuff.
data, which is always a massive bonus.
Yeah.
All right, jumping from landing pages to websites, which is something we've always sort of done, even though we're mainly marketing, we've always built websites and we've had a long sort of history with that. So a question I get asked a lot is, why is there such a huge gap in things like prices for websites? You hear about sort of people in their mind thinking, a website's going to cost a couple grand. Some people think websites are going to cost $100,000. So why is there such a huge discrepancy between prices in websites?
Because in the old days, couple of years ago, or say more.
Technology, that's old. That's
really
old.
It really is.
It
Things
is
are
old
changing.
2 years ago, yeah.
Crazy, right? So people used to go to agencies and agencies would build websites for $1,000, $2,000, get them over the line. And they were all very templated.
So
there was just a header, left to right content, or, left right form on the right hand side, you're done.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of comprehensive thought into how a website is built, and it all depends on the amount of services that are included in your web build, such as, your everything from buyer personas to be created, your the content strategy, your site mapping, your user journey, the the testing, the personas. I already said that. Your wireframing, the design, and then design tests, and then you've got all the different type of content management system stuff. So you've got your larger enterprise systems for government-based guys, and then you've got your smaller guys that they work quite well with WordPress, etc.
Yeah, cool.
Does it also depend on like what your website is about as well? Is it depending if it's like product or service, or like how many products you have? Obviously, well,
someone's going to have to enter all that information in. It's at the end of the day, it's all time.
Yeah, like if you're like the Iconic and you've got 20 million things available to sell, then obviously that's going to take a lot more time than if you're a smaller business who's got 8 products.
It's also functionality and just the level of detail. Like Huss, mentioned things like, in the creative world, like UX, sort of wireframing and stuff like that. But a lot of stuff that I've personally been involved in is like the SEO side of websites. So like 2 people can build the same looking website, but one's going to outrank the other. You know what I mean? So there's like optimizing code, making it faster, making it work on all the viewports, obviously. But even things like redirecting your old pages to new pages, doing proper 301 redirections.
I feel like people don't really know about that stuff.
People don't know that. And I hear so many stories. We went to this marketing agency. They told us we wanted a new website. We built a new website. We lost all our rankings straight away. So I'm like, did you 301 redirect all your existing content to the new website?
And they're like, I have no idea what that means.
What are you talking about? What language is this? I'm like, there's
But levels. That's the difference, I guess, between like a quality build and then someone who just knows how to build the website but not all that technical stuff behind it.
Which is an advantage of us because we're looking at it always, even though it's web, we're looking at it from a performance point of view.
100%. Yeah, and I guess you'll see that performance in the way that in the price that you pay as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I guess that's the difference between, I know that we get questions, I got quoted $5,000. Why are you guys quoting me? This is a random number, but like 20. It's like, well, that's the difference that you're going to
absolutely.
pay.
Yeah, absolutely. So anything else you want to touch on that question, or should we
move on to the number 6?
We can move on.
Nice.
He's doing well so far.
Yeah, I reckon he's killing it.
Yeah. Will you still have your job? Yeah.
All right, so this one sort of comes up a lot in terms of our paid advertising stuff, is when it comes to sort of variants in like ads, graphical ads. How many variants of creative would you sort of recommend that sort of people need?
I'd say a minimum of 2 variants, just so you can do the whole A/B testing on them.
Yeah.
Everyone reacts differently. All the different characters and personas that you're trying to market to, they all react slightly differently to what they see as they scroll down or visit a landing page, etc. So you got to ensure that a minimum of 2 will be best.
Yeah, and obviously the more you add on, the more opportunity you're going to get to test. And
Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah. Does that work for would that be for video and like images?
If you have the resources available, definitely. Yeah. The more the better.
Even if it's like, I feel even if it's just a bit, the call to action in the beginning was slightly different in a video, obviously. But I feel like that sometimes makes a massive difference in things. Like the way you start the video.
Well, a lot of times you can get away with stuff like that by you having a different voiceover.
Yes.
And even having the same
we've
sort
done
of
that
video.
here.
Yeah, we have done
Whether
that.
Whether it's like, even if it's just a male or a female voice as well, that obviously changes.
You've mentioned personas a lot, right? You've talked about it a bit. So another question is, how do you tie in design with buyer personas?
What's a buyer persona? Just for the people watching at home, if you want to explain that.
In marketing, right, you market to your customers, right? You don't market. Design is subjective. Everything.
I know what one is, by the way. I'm just going to say that.
Absolutely. So a buyer persona for a company would be who that company's target audience is, and then what we do as a marketing agency is we do the research, and then we work out who they are. We work out their pain points. We work out what they need, where they like to hang out, and then we build our marketing program tailored for that. Same thing with the website, right?
Yeah, and when it ties into design and web, the way we look at things when we make judgment on certain design elements or the way we structure it, anything on a website, for example, we refer back to the buyer personas, the goals and objective, where, for example, an older person might, need fonts to be bigger or something like that, or younger people want to see things quicker. So we purely base our design judgment on the goals and objectives of those.
I feel like that's really important. I feel like maybe, again, that's another thing that's probably overlooked. Like little things like older people need to see things a bit bigger because they're probably not great with their vision anymore.
Yeah,
that's
well,
just,
we did a project for an eye sort of surgery sort of clinic. And it was actually a requirement by them. There's like certain protocols and standards that the government sort of put out.
Wow.
So you need to have like the buttons to enlarge. There got to be certain fonts. Different colors can't clash between sort of different bits and pieces. So there are actually rules and guidelines sort of based around all that
That's
stuff.
really important. Yeah.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, right, you gotta cater to the audience.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and that's what it's about.
Okay, I'm gonna ask this question because this is my favorite question.
Yeah, do it.
How do you balance giving the client what they want, but also what actually is going to work from your professional opinion?
It's tricky one.
Because I get this all the time.
Yeah.
Too.
You got to really extract the information from the client and ensuring that you meet all the modern trends that are happening. As a designer, you need to understand all of that. And when you're meeting your client and asking those questions, it's your job to clearly extract the right information and the right data that you need to give yourself to give the client a great product.
Yeah, I think you educate them a little bit as well. Like so many times, clients come to us and they want 10 scrolling banners on their website and each one is 20 megabytes and they're like, this is going to be awesome. You got to let them know why having 500 megabytes of scrolling images at the top of your website isn't the best for usability, but you just
and it happens a lot. That happens a lot. They see all these really fancy sites that are, and they're really modern ones as well that take forever to load. But when it comes to marketing to them, it's really bad. It's going to affect conversion. It's going to affect Google rankings, etc.
So, and I think us giving that opinion, it's not a bad thing. We're obviously on your side. We want to give you the best.
But it can be tricky. 100%. Because sometimes clients tie that stuff into value because it's something they can't do themselves.
Yeah.
So they think if I have a tricked out website with things popping up everywhere and stuff like that, like that's worth my money. That makes me look good.
Yeah.
Where I mean, Huss is the king of simplicity. I'm sure he'll tell you like simplicity is what it's all about, right?
Yeah, keeping it simple, stupid is a main key in design. So just getting the message out there, getting the call to action out there is very important.
Things that are too messy and too much, it's overwhelming as well, especially in the design world. You don't want to pop up on a website and you've got things in your face and then a video and then another thing popping up. And you're like, oh God, take me off this website. I don't want to be here.
100%. Yeah, cool. I think there's only really one question left, and it's the best question. You can do the honors.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, do the honors.
I get this question too. I said the word before. It triggered me a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Clients always ask to make things pop.
Yeah.
How do you react to this?
Or add some sprinkles.
Sprinkles.
Every now and then you get those clients, and it's not a bad question, but it's just a request, but it's more so about understanding what the client means by that. So
what does pop mean?
Exactly. Yeah. So you need to go back to them and really go through the design that you've created for them and go through inspiration sites that they refer to as what pops. It could be something as simple as a button color. It could be something as simple as a font size or the way an element is laid out on the page. Yeah. But it's usually that rather than a whole complete design. If they really hate it, they would have turned around and said, I hate this design most of the time. But from my experience, it's usually the most minimal thing that clients refer to as pop.
Yeah, it's such a funny word.
We get it all the time. I reckon like, what? 50 times I've been asked that question.
I just feel like it doesn't pop.
Yeah. I like it, but it just needs to pop a little,
Maybe when you were designing, when I get it, now I'm getting the tips.
I was like, I never get that.
Doing a better job.
Every now and then you will get it. You will get it. But as I said, it's your job to extract that information for the design.
For sure.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah, I think we're just going to finish with just like some general advice and tips on design. Any tips that you have, I guess, for people who maybe are in design, studying design, or even businesses who have a designer and work with someone as well?
If you're going to be working on websites that work for marketing agencies, ensure you keep it simple.
Yeah.
Ensure you're going through the data, that you're basically tailoring your you're designed to the buyer personas and the client's goals and objectives.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I can think of at the moment.
I think it's important to listen to your marketing agency as well.
Yeah.
Like, I think that we always say that, you know, we're on your side and we want to give you the best results.
I agree.
And performance is important to us, not just to you. It reflects us as well. We're very proud.
Well, that refers to the conflict between the agencies before,
100%.
right? And when the creative director has to step in, is that most people don't listen to the marketing agencies, and the marketing agencies generally look at, you know, for example, they've had experience in your field or in your area, or they've looked at data to know what's going to work for you. So and listening to the marketing agency is very important.
We're very data driven here as well.
Yeah.
Like
you can't argue with data.
No.
That's what I always say.
Facts.
Yeah, that's right. It is. It's black or
white.
Well,
as we've said, that design is subjective, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's going to love it. Some people are going to hate it. You know, it's not for everyone all the time. But at the end of the day, you know, data is key.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Huss. That was awesome,
guys. Man. You did well. Well done.
You passed thank you.
You passed the test.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he still has his job. What do you reckon?
Yeah, smashing it.
Yeah?
All good. All good.
You won't get rid of me, mate.
You just set your reviews. It's
Never.
Great. Well, thanks, guys, for joining us. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Thank you.
See you.